Hi, I'm Tanna, and welcome back to another Wellness Wednesday, and happy Black History Month. And this week, I thought it'd be important to put some awareness and recognition towards some of the cultural stigmas that the Black community faces, and that deter them from seeking help, professional help for their mental health. So stay tuned for that, and I'll see you guys soon. So some of the first barriers that we're going to be talking about is familial shame and cultural stigma of mental health in the Black community. So with familial shame, some individuals experience a sense of paranoia about venting about their feelings because of the fear that people would know their family business. So their family would be seen as dysfunctional and not a good look. But those ideas are particularly passed down generationally to parents and that are taught to our young generation. And that is where familial shame plays a part in the deterrence of young Black African Americans seeking help for mental health. And the familial shame often stems from a broader cultural stigma surrounding mental health in the Black community. Going to therapy is viewed as a sign of weakness and something to be ashamed of, when in all actuality it's not. A lot of Black people don't think of therapy as realistic or a viable option for help, and mental health isn't seen as something to focus on, improve on, or get professional help for. More barriers that we're going to discuss today are the lack of diversity in healthcare and the poor understanding among non-Black clinicians. So oftentimes Black people prefer to talk to someone who looks like them and will better understand their experiences. But unfortunately, only around 2% of the American Psychological Association members and associates identify as Black. So this not only makes it harder to find a therapist, but it also means the caseloads for Black clinicians fill up pretty quickly. The lack of representation can make it hard for those seeking a counselor to find the help they need when they need it. And not all clinicians are trained to be aware or curious about how culture, race, and ethnicity impacts a person's mental health and emotional well-being. And so much of what ends up coming to light in therapy sessions are tied to identity. And this causes for the need to explain of a lot of nuanced things tied to race and gender to their therapists, who might not understand where an individual is truly coming from. And most of the psychological training that therapists receive is based on the experiences of white people, norms, values, and beliefs, which can influence the competency of non-Black therapists. So the final barriers that I have for you guys is difficulty navigating the process and emotional hesitation, and along with negative past experiences. So you can compare the process of looking for a therapist to that of job hunting. And though there are now a number of online resources available to help them make the process easier, it can still be overwhelming. And a lot of people do not know where to begin looking for a therapist who will fit their specific needs. And Black people are often taught to keep our feelings to ourselves. So even after finding a therapist, the process of opening up can be particularly difficult. This experience is known as emotional hesitation. And talking about emotions is something that many of us are not directly taught how to do. So the idea of learning how to and sharing that process with a stranger can be very daunting. And it is common that Black people have seen a counselor for whether it be voluntary or involuntary, and the experiences were not particularly great. And this could be due to the therapist's lack of cultural awareness and competence or other factors. And those negative experiences can dissuade Black people from finding a new counselor and continuing the healing process. So I wanted to leave you guys with a few little side notes to conclude this video, presentation, whatever you want to call it, is this all ultimately stems for the lack of education and training programs in the counseling, psychology, and social work programs, who hardly ever include the voices of Black mental health theorists, researchers, and practitioners. So the takeaway from all this is that all these issues make it difficult to find and get help, but at the same time, systematic racism takes a big toll on Black mental health, and it is fueling the crisis of depression and suicide. So it is important to become aware of the struggles that come with systematic racism and work to do better for the future generations, but it starts with us. And I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys next week.